Good afternoon, everyone. Before we begin, I just want to recognize some of the local and state elected officials that we have here with us today, starting with our Speaker of the House, Robert DeLeo, Senator Joseph Bondcorey, Madam District Attorney Rachel Rollins, our City Councilors, Councilor at Large Jessica Giannino, Councilor at Large Jerry Visconti, Councilor at Large Tony Zambuto, Ward 2 City Councilor Ira Novoselsky, Ward 3 City Councilor Arthur Guanasso, Ward 6 City Councilor Ricky Serino, members of the school committee Fred Sinella, and with us today our Superintendent Dr. Diane Kelly, Fire Chief Chris Wright, and Lieutenant Michael Harvey from the Mass State Police. And of course, we'll be hearing from Judge Mashira later today, but Judge, thank you for joining us today as well. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Revere City Hall for an occasion that marks an important step in our city's advancement of law enforcement and community harmony. I welcomed our elected officials, and I want to welcome all of you who play a vital role in promoting the safety, the vitality, and the progress for our community. And I welcome my friend, David Callahan, his wife, Rhonda, and their daughter, Cadence. Today, in many ways, marks a continuation of your service and dedication to the city of Revere. And yet, at the same time, today marks the start of a new and certainly demanding aspect of your lives that are so intertwined with our city. Historic times often produce extraordinary accomplishment. And today we do live in historic times, confronted with a dangerous, deceptive disease, COVID-19. It's ravaged our city, our state, and our country. It's a threat against public health that no one has witnessed this century. And we live in a historic time of self-examination, reconciliation, and an understanding of inequality, the inequality that prevents all people from fulfilling their greatest individual possibilities. And amid our fears of illness and disease, amid our anxiety about current times, we continue to face the kinds of threats that are all too common. Petty theft, motor vehicle damage, domestic violence, crime in general. And as always, we turn to the men and women of our law enforcement community for protection, for guidance, and we pray for civic peace and unity. David Callahan takes on his responsibility as Chief of Police at a time when our city, like so many others across the nation, confront uncomfortable questions about policing. He assumes this responsibility amid cries that doubt the value and the purpose of our public servants in law enforcement. He will lead men and women whose badge compels them at any given moment to be a counselor, a mediator, a medic, a friend, a source of assurance. He will lead our police department at a time when change in attitude and approach of police work is imminent, but when the fundamental purpose of police work prevails. And I am confident that Dave Callahan will ascend in this historic time to achieve extraordinary accomplishment. At a fundamental level, a police department's purpose is to protect and serve. And every hour of every day, that's precisely what our police department does. Its members protect and serve our community. And while we commonly characterize it as law enforcement, it is more accurately the preservation of peace. When a community's residents are in danger or in distress, it's a police officer who often is the first to arrive, placing the life and safety of the public above his or her own. That basic function of police work, the preservation of peace, does not change and will not change, even as our society adapts to a new understanding of policing. Regrettably, the threats of danger, of unrest, of recklessness and disregard for human life and property will persist in our world. And the public will continue to ask the police to intervene. David Callahan incorporates nearly 30 years of experience as a police officer into his new role of leadership. He possesses a keen understanding of the challenges of the job and the requirements of modern police work. Those not only include knowledge of the law and procedure, but it also includes characteristics of leadership, a sense of compassion, a curiosity about innovation, and a capacity to accept and embrace progress. Dave Callahan is well suited to be both an agent of change and a pillar of the heritage of the men and women who devote their lives to the preservation of peace. He took an oath when he became a police officer. He took oaths as he rose through the ranks of the Revere Police Department. Last week, he took an oath again as chief to serve our community to the best of his ability in fairness and with justice for all. Today, we applaud his enthusiasm, his commitment, his initiative. And going forward, we promise our support and our gratitude. A responsive police department, responsive to the needs and concerns of all of our residents, is our greatest assurance of the preservation of peace. As David Callahan takes on that awesome responsibility, we say thank you, we say good luck, and we say God bless. With that, I will now open it up to Speaker of the House, Robert DeLeo.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and I'm starting to enjoy this every weekday that we get the opportunity to come. I'm getting so bored up at the State House. I just don't know what to do with myself. Just this past Saturday, I got a call from the governor at 9 o'clock. He said, I just want to let you know there's a triple E mosquitoes now around in Orange. He said, just something else that we needed to take a look at. Thank you very, very much for letting me know that. But it's such an honor. I'm here on behalf of Representative Vincent and myself, and I just want to also mention former Representative, Reinstein is also here today. I just want to... But it was amazing as I was talking to some of the folks earlier, in particular Judge Mashera and some of the other dignitaries as well, about Dave Callahan. And I've known him for a number of years and always found him to be a good, pleasant, good person to deal with, shall we say. And they were each telling me stories. And each of the stories not only talked about the fact about what a great police officer that he is, but about the fact of what a great human being that he is as well. That he's the type of person that no matter what your status may be in life or whatever it may be, he's the type of guy who's there to help. And I would have to say right now, in where we are in the Commonwealth and in the world in general, I don't think we could have anyone more qualified or better for the job as Dave Callahan. So, Chief, I just want to present you with this citation, if I may, based on your appointment. As always, we've known each other for a long time. If ever I can be of assistance, please don't hesitate to call. I just want to remind you about a $7 billion budget deficit, so don't ask me for any money. Outside of that, you can ask me the time of day or anything else that you like. I'll try to be of assistance to you. But with that, if you could step up, please.
Mr. Speaker, thank you.
The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the House of Representatives, be it hereby known to all that the Massachusetts House of Representatives offers its sincerest congratulations to Chief David Callahan in recognition of your appointment as police chief for the city of Revere. The entire membership extends its very best wishes and expresses the hope for future good fortune and continued success in all endeavors. Given the 7th day of July 2020 at the State House, Boston, Massachusetts, signed by Representative Rosalie Vincent and the Speaker of the House, Robert A. DeLeo. Congratulations. I wish you a future of good health, success, and good luck. God bless.
I know, thank you.
I'm sorry. Just a little thing. I'm sorry. I forgot. One of the things I have the honor, and I mean this sincerely, of doing is to introduce our great senator. As I've mentioned to so many times before, I can tell you that myself, obviously in the House, working with this gentleman since he's been elected, which has been a relatively short period of time, but with all he has accomplished, it seems like a long period of time, actually, with the great job he's done. But I've been really fortunate enough to actually known him since, well, he was a little tyke, I guess, and played for one of my Little League teams, but that's okay. But it's really my pleasure and honor to introduce our state senator, Joseph Bondcorey.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Speaker, for that wonderful introduction. I knew you could never forget me, and I'll keep that in mind going forward. Make sure you can never forget me. But I'd like to thank the mayor for having me here today and for his wonderful appointment of Chief Callahan as the 26th police chief for the city of Revere. I'd also like to say hello and welcome the city council from our great city of Revere, as well as Madam District Attorney and the Honorable Judge Mashera from Chelsea District Court. I've had the good pleasure of knowing Chief Callahan for about 15 years now. And in a previous life, I referred to him as Detective Callahan, and he referred to me as Defense Counsel, as we were often on the opposite side of the V, as they say in legalese, in Chelsea District Court and a couple of times in Suffolk Superior Court. And I can attest to his police work, his investigation of crimes in that time in which we worked together. And I would say that never, ever did he ever take advantage of a defendant. He always administered justice in his investigations, void and blind of race, color, creed, or religious denomination. And I think that is how he conducted himself as a detective. And I know that's how he conducts himself leading this great police force in our city of Revere. Because in this time, as many have alluded to, of civil unrest throughout this country, and even in our Commonwealth, we need someone who will administer justice in this city, blind of race, color, creed, or religious denomination. And as I said, I cannot think of anyone more suited or more able for these times than Dave Callahan. So I look forward in the future, as the speaker was saying, to working with the new chief as it comes to matters of police reform in the Commonwealth. And I just say that the police are not under attack in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I can't say that's the same for the rest of this country. But in the Commonwealth, when we're making decisions on Beacon Hill, and I think the speaker can attest, we don't make a move without speaking to our local police chiefs, who have in mind every step of the way their men and women who serve with them. So as we look forward to the future of this Commonwealth, look forward to the future of policing in this Commonwealth, I'm so happy to be able to work with Chief Callahan. And I too want to thank his family, his lovely wife Rhonda. Thank you for giving of your husband. You gave of him for so long to this great city. And fortunately for us, unfortunately for you, you'll have to give a little more for the foreseeable future. Maybe that is fortunate for you. I don't know how it is, but but really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Rhonda, and your lovely daughter. Thank you so much for allowing David to serve in this capacity. Because as any wife or husband knows of a police officer, when they leave in the morning or at night, they don't know what the future was going to hold. They don't know if that person's coming back. And that's a strain on a family life. And so when a police officer serves, they serve with their entire family. So, Chief, if you could come forward. The Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the State Senate, I am presenting you with an official citation. Be it here known that the Massachusetts Senate hereby extends its congratulations to Chief David Callahan in recognition of your appointment as the 26th Police Chief for the City of Revere. And be it further known that the Massachusetts Senate extends its best wishes for continued success, and that this citation be duly signed by the President of the Senate, attested to, and a copy be transmitted by the Clerk of the Senate. And it's signed by the Senate President Karen Spilka and your state senator and friend, Joe Bondcorey. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Continued success. Absolutely. This for you.
Thank you.
And just to keep with tradition, I've served in the legislature now for 4 years, and there's few that have served shorter periods of time than me. But I want to introduce a woman who has taken over the reins at the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office and does so ferociously, with no regret and no apologies. And we should all be very proud of our District Attorney, Rachel Rowan.
Thank you, Senator, Speaker, Mayor, City Councilors, and beautiful family, a beautiful family. I have not known the Chief for very long. I think I met you 2 weeks ago for the first time, but I want you to hear where I met him. As a result of the things that are happening in our world, and being the Chief Law Enforcement Officer of Suffolk County, which I am aware is not only Boston, includes the fine, wonderful places of Revere, Winthrop, and Chelsea, I called all the chiefs, the colonels, and the commissioners in Suffolk County together to have a very real and honest and confidential discussion about race, policing, and where we find ourselves in this country. And former Chief Guido came and brought this wonderful man with him. And he was not a shrinking violet in any way possible. He was outspoken, and I want you to know, I told them that I can, it's a wrong phrase, but absolutely take a punch. I want them to speak honestly with me about the things that they're concerned about I've said. For me, as the first woman that's ever had this job as the Chief Law Enforcement Officer in Suffolk County in over 2 centuries, and the first woman of color to ever be DA in the history of the Commonwealth, I can say I have had outstanding experiences with law enforcement. I am the daughter of a veteran and the daughter of and granddaughter and niece of many, many members of law enforcement. But I've also had circumstances in my life and have people I love that haven't had good experiences. And we are better than that. So what I pledge to you, sir, and I don't have a certificate, but I would like to at least touch your elbow or shake your hand again, is we are going to work together to make Suffolk County safer. You're going to hold me accountable, and I'm going to do the same to you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Oh, and I won't forget, I am going to introduce Judge Mashera, who is the first justice in Chelsea, but as you know, Revere is wonderful, but all of your court cases end up going to Chelsea. And Matt has worked in the Suffolk County DA's office for quite some time. He was an exceptional prosecutor. He led that gang unit, or the gang unit in the Suffolk County DA's office. He is an even better judge than he is a prosecutor. We are lucky to have him. Judge Mashera.
I got nothing for you. Sorry. Good luck. I've had the pleasure of knowing Dave for over 25 years, and when I was a young, inexperienced DA. Then I was a defense attorney. I had an office down on Beach Street with this guy over here, and I've known him as a judge. And I can't tell you how many countless times he'd sneak up behind you with, "Hey, mister, how you doing, mister?" And I can tell you that in the 26 years I've known him, I've never seen him in a bad mood. I have had the pleasure of working with some of the best men and women in uniform in a variety of police departments. But I can tell you, you are one of the best. You are exactly what a police officer should be. If they could model you in an academy and just show loops of you interacting with people, that would be something to do. I've had a lot of privileges in my life. One of the biggest ones I had was last week when Dave asked me to swear him in. And it was an honor to be there with your family and to be seeing something that I never thought I'd see, but so proud of you. You are a great police officer. You are an even better human being, and you will be a great, great chief for the city of Revere. And I wish you the best of luck.
Before we conclude, we're going to hear from two more people. One is the chief, of course, but before that, I'd like to ask the chief's brother, Charles Callahan, to come on up and say a few words.
Thank you, everyone. I just want to say how much this means to not only myself and my brother, to my whole family. That from the little boy who used to play with the police car on the front window and wear the varnish off, my father wasn't very happy about that, by the way, to becoming a police officer, and he's just been focused and worked so hard all these years, and I'm so proud of him that he's attained this rank of Chief of Police of the city of Revere. And with that, I'll introduce my brother. I love you. The Chief of Police, City of Revere, David J. Callahan.
I have to say I'm quite humbled by everyone that's here today and by some of the kind words I've heard from many different people. I even shed a tear or two, but I'm trying to keep it together because this is an important day for everybody. But I just want to thank everybody, the mayor, Mr. Speaker, Senator Bondcorey, Your Honor Judge Mashera, Madam DA, the Revere City Council for your unanimous vote in appointing me as the chief, with the mayor and you guys and folks and ladies entrusted me to oversee this community in the police department. And the school committee members who have supported me, as well as the superintendent of schools. And everybody in attendance. I'm fortunate and grateful to have this opportunity to serve the community that I was born and raised in as the chief of police. I'm having an opportunity that very few people ever have. In 2020, everyone is aware that times have changed. Communities have changed. Policing has dramatically changed. In almost 30 years of being a police officer in the community I've worked in many different capacities. I've had a lot of different interactions with people in the community. I'm here to tell you, everyone that knows me, from my family, friends, community members, to colleagues that I currently work with now, that I've worked with in the past, that I've worked with all over the area. I have not changed. I've always believed and always had faith that I could make the community a better place for everyone to live in. I knew that no matter how bad or how tough an event or a problem was, I could and should never quit, and always had the determination to push forward. Even during these challenging times of COVID-19 and the egregious behavior of those who wear the same uniform that I have and my colleagues have for many, many years, I have one thing. I have hope. Hope that we will survive these challenging times and do better for the community. Again, I have not changed. I am the same person with the same beliefs and values from when I first started in policing. I love this community and the people who live here. Since my first day, I have always treated everybody, or everyone I've encountered, fairly and with the respect they would due. I'm committed to serving the community this way, and I will instill these values in the men and women that will be following my lead in the Revere Police Department in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for coming out on this beautiful day, and please enjoy the rest of your afternoon.